Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Just in case you're new here, my name is Kisha. I blog every day at kjaggers.com. The link to my blog is below, as well as all the other places to find me on social media. So today I am back with a video about when to toss your makeup. Now for me, I have a ton of makeup. It's been very hard for me to get rid of stuff. But I think every spring and late fall, it's a good idea to go through your makeup, get rid of anything that's maybe expired or not good anymore, and make room maybe for some of the new summer and winter products that are coming out. So I have been cleaning a lot of my makeup out, and this is the makeup that I'm throwing away. You see all of it? It's a lot of makeup, isn't it? And I've got two more bins, probably about the same size as this, that's going to friends and family. But there are some rules in terms of how long to keep your makeup. So let's start with foundation. So I just have three old ones here. This is the Revlon Custom Creations, the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, and the Neutrogena Healthy Skin. So normally pumps last longer because you're not like dipping in and getting your oils from your skin inside the formula itself. And most of the time, foundation should be tossed that doesn't have a pump every 6 months. Now, I have kept foundation longer than that, but you have to be careful. A lot of times, if you see it separating, or it might change colors on you depending on how long you've had it, you definitely want to keep it out of sunlight. And on the pumps, about 8 months. So check your makeup. Another thing you could definitely do is label the date that you bought the product on the bottom, and then you'll have more of an idea of how old your product is, you know, as time goes by. But I really think pumps are pretty good for 8 months to a year. And if it's not a pump, 6 to 8 months. And then, you know, it's time to get a new one. I don't find a lot of people have struggled with this with foundations, because foundations is a product that most of us go through pretty quick. So I don't really worry a whole lot about foundations, because people do go through them rather quick. Now for concealers. Concealers are a bit of the same. I know there's more in here, but are a bit of the same. If it's a concealer that is in a pot, usually 6 months tops, but most of the time it's going to dry out on you within 4 months. This is the Dream Mousse Concealer, which I loved, and they discontinued. If it's in more of a closed container, maybe a pump or a doe foot applicator within a tube like this, it's going to last a little bit longer, probably 8 months to a year. But definitely watch out for your concealers getting dry. If it pulls at your skin when you try to put it on, it's definitely a concealer that you need to toss. Concealers like this that are in a tube usually last 6 to 8 months. Again, if it's too dry and it's not applying easy like this one, see how hard I'm having to push, then it's time to toss it. Anything around the eyes you got to be careful with, because you don't want an eye infection. And another thing about concealers, I would say, is be careful how you use them. If you are using your concealer over a blemish, definitely don't put your dirty finger back in your pot after you apply it the first time. The best way is to get a brush and use a brush to put it on, because you will contaminate your product if you put it over a blemish and get that bacteria on your finger and then dab it in again. So you basically contaminated the whole pot when you just did that. And then you might be reapplying that same bacteria to different parts of your face, causing you even more breakouts. Okay, so let's move into powders, blushes, bronzers. So the cream ones, that I don't have any of, but they come in little pots like this, or any other kind of little pot. They will last you 3 to 6 months, depending on how often you get air into the product by opening it. If you shut it completely. Another rule of thumb, if it smells bad, it's probably bad, so get rid of it. If any of your makeup products smell, they shouldn't smell bad, and if they do, it's time to toss them. Cream blushes and bronzers, again, 3 to 6 months, depending on how well you take care of them. Some of mine have lasted a little bit longer than that, but generally, usually around the 6-month mark, most cream blushes and bronzers are going to start to dry out anyway. They'll look flaky if you try to apply them. Toss, within 6 months. Powder blushes and bronzers are a little bit different. If your product does not have a shiny, and this one wouldn't, but a shiny buildup, it's probably going to last you a year or longer. But if you have that shiny buildup on your powder or your compact powder, it's the oils from your skin creating that shine. It's okay to go ahead and take something, little kitchen knife, and get that part off. But if you use good brushes and you take good care of your products, they will last you quite a bit longer. I really think that a year you can get away with keeping powders and bronzers. I know it's if you're using, like I said, clean brushes and tools, it's going to make all the difference. So you can have these things for such a long time. This is actually like 2 years old, and I hit the pan on it. You can see this is the Physician Formula Miami Strip Healthy Glow Bronzer. I loved it. It's a beautiful highlight, but it's time to toss. It's old and doesn't really need to stay around in my makeup. Now into eyeshadows. So eyeshadows can last up to 4 years if taken care of properly. Definitely cream eyeshadows can last up to about a year, but they will dry out quicker because, again, they're exposed to air. They are a cream product. Make sure your lid goes on, and they can last you anywhere up to a year. Again, if they smell bad, or they apply in a chunky or drying kind of manner where you're pulling at your eyelids, get rid of it. It's not worth it. Other shadows, such as powdered shadows, can last a lot longer. Now, some of these shadows I've had forever. Look at this one. This is actually a smoky eye palette that I used on my wedding day. And it's hard to get rid of it because I've had it for so long. It's very, very old. You can see I still have quite a few colors left, but it's time to get rid of it. I've had it for quite a long time. And if you take care of your shadows using good, clean brushes and, keep them from getting crushed, they will last a very long time. The same with like this e.l.f. one. This is the e.l.f. Neutral Edition Beauty Encyclopedia. I used this for years. Absolutely loved it. But there comes a time when you really should take out the old stuff to make room for new stuff and to prevent from getting eye infections, especially if you haven't used it for a while and it's sat up and maybe been exposed to dust or any kind of dirt. There is a potential for a big eye infection. So definitely sort through your makeup, see what's old. If it's really old and something you don't use anymore, it's best to get rid of it. You're not going to have the clutter and you're not going to have the potential eye infections that come along with that. Now here's one of my biggest downfalls. Let me find some. Some of the lids have fallen off these, but are lip products. So lip products, if taken care of, can last a while. I think we all know that because I know so many of my friends have had lipstick for 2+ years. It's completely fine. You can easily take care of a lipstick for a couple years. Remember, if you've had any kind of cold sores and use that lipstick, maybe it's time to give that one a toss, or any kind of breakouts around the mouth. You definitely don't want to keep the same lipstick that you used during that period. It can spread that bacteria. But for lipsticks or for lip products like this, where it's the pin and like a stain, this can last up to 6 to 8 months. If it doesn't dry out on you, make sure to keep the cap on it. If it smells funny, it's time to toss it. The same goes with lip glosses. They can last up to 2 years if they're taken care of, if you are using them on clean lips, healthy lips, no lip sores, no breakouts around the mouth. Lip products will last you a while. Just a regular lipstick is a little bit shorter in time, somewhere about a year to a year and a half. Some of mine have had a bit longer than that, but they do dry out just like mascaras do. And if you tug at your lips, it's not a good thing. So make sure they apply easy. You haven't used them during a period in your life where you maybe had cold sores or breakouts. If you did, get rid of it. So let's talk about mascaras next. Your mascaras should be tossed out between, 3 and 6 months. Now, a good rule of thumb is if they smell bad, they usually are bad. So I love mascara. I have a ton of them, but if they smell, you guys, you need to toss them. You'll be able to tell also by the way they coat your lashes, if they're clumpy, if they flake a lot. It's probably about time to replace them. You'll see how dry the bristles on the brushes look, and it's nothing to play around with because it's around your eye. You can get an eye infection. Definitely don't share mascara because eye infections can pass. But mascaras can last even up to 6 months, just depending if they don't dry out first. So remember to change your mascara often. It does matter. The same goes with eyeliners. Your eyeliners can last anywhere from 3 to 6 months, depending if they don't dry out, especially if they're a liquid liner. If they're a liner like this one, a retractable liner, if you keep the cap on and sharpen them every once in a while, some of them are self-sharpening, but it does make a big difference on how long they last. If it's a pencil that you have to sharpening them cleans them kind of, and it takes off the bacteria on the first layer, so it can last quite a long time. If you haven't had any eye infections, then you should be good to go for 3 to 6 months on any kind of pencil or liquid eyeliner. So nail polishes, did you know have an expiration date? Usually the 2-year mark is a pretty long dated nail polish because they do get gooby, they do dry out, they do get harder to apply. If they smell really bad, get rid of them. But generally you can keep your nail polishes for somewhere between 1 to 3 years, depending on how often you use them. If you keep them out of the sun, if you haven't used them on nails that have fungal infections, they should last you quite a long time. But again, it's good to go through them. If it's a color you haven't used very often, get rid of it. There's beautiful colors out there now, new products that you might want to try. Make room for those by getting rid of the old goopy polishes. 1 to 2 years, and then it's time to toss. Perfumes. This is another product people don't think to check and toss. So how many of you guys have a big perfume collection that's maybe been sitting there for years? Well, perfumes change over years. They just do. Their scents come together more, some of them die out, and it just changes. So around the 2-year mark, really, I think the 1 year, you should really try to start using up your perfumes and have them used up within 2 years, so you get the original scent instead of a scent that's been in the bottle for a long time, changing, developing, and actually into something else. It's good to toss after a couple years and just go get some new perfume. So products like lash glue, you can keep generally 3 to 6 months, but you're going to want to toss it out, around the 6-month mark. Get you a new fresh one. Definitely, if you've used it on lashes that, maybe when you had an eye infection, get rid of those lashes. Don't reapply the glue to those. It's a good thing to hold the lashes, put the glue on, or you could put some glue on your hand. But remember, if you get bacteria up in this part, it's going to contaminate all of the glue. So be careful with your lash glue. 3 to 6 months, and then toss it and get a new one. So I hope you found this helpful, and maybe we'll find it inspiring to go clean out your makeup. Definitely give things a look. You can label the bottoms, like I said, and it will really help you keep an idea of how long you've had that product. I'm really not in that habit because I do use a lot of my makeup up pretty fast, but it really boils down to common sense. If it smells bad, toss it. If you have that shiny film on it, either scrape that shiny film off your powder and use it from the bottom down, past that film, or toss it and get a new one. It's not worth it, especially when it comes to eye products. You can get eye infections super easy. Be precautious of the products that you're using on your face, and just make time to go through them and get rid of anything old that might smell bad or be clumpy or dried out. It will really save you infections, and it will make room for more products. Natural products are not preserved the same way, so you definitely want to check those products out to see if they are expired, if they smell bad, if it's time to get rid of them, because they do not have the same preservatives. So it's been a job cleaning out my makeup. It's been hard because I love it, and I've really boiled it down to some products in my closet and some products in my bathroom. I posted in my last weekend in review vlog some of the makeup that I was getting rid of, and it just was overwhelming. It was too much. Time to change it up and get rid of all the products that I'm not using any longer, and it just feels better. So I hope that this inspires you. Go clean out your makeup drawers. Let me know how it goes while you're doing it and how you feel afterwards. I'd love to hear from you. You can leave me your comments and thoughts below. You can check out my blog post at kjaggers.com that goes along with this video in particular, and I will see you guys very soon. Have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed weekend. I'll be back tomorrow with a recipe that is a family hit in my house. I'm sure it will be in your home too if you try it. And I'll be back Monday with our weekly food haul. Then we'll get on into the videos of next week. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.